And now your hosts, Pittsburg State head coach Tim Beck and Eric Kinnett.
Right to left. The snap a little bit high, pulled down. He didn't make it! They put Lamori Wise, the linebacker, in the backfield and gave him the ball. And Pitt State, a run blitz. They stuff it.
The great Eddie Lomchek with the call on KKOW last night. Pitt State with an overtime stop on a 2-point play as the Gorillas hold on and improve to 2-1. And good evening. Welcome to the Tim Beck Show. Eric Kinnett with Coach Beck. 38-37 the final score as Pitt State beat Northeastern State in overtime. And say this about your team, Coach Beck, they are very resilient, and it showed again last night.
Well, we've had 3 games in a row now, and they've all kind of went down to the wire. So, in some ways, I think we're playing at the ability of our opponent, and we got to get kind of over that. But again, got to give our guys a lot of credit, hanging in there, making plays at the end, driving the ball when we needed to, come out the second half and drove the ball down and scored. We faced a lot of adversity and found a way to get through it. And the exciting thing for our coaching staff is we still have tons of room for improvement, but we've got to do a lot better job at a lot of the little things, and maybe it wouldn't have came down to that. So,
right.
But you also got to give Northeastern State a lot of credit. They got some good players. They did a good job coaching them, and they played extremely hard as well.
A hard-fought game, no doubt about it.
Yes.
And after the game, I asked you if you were surprised at all that they went for 2 in the win, and you weren't surprised, though.
Not really. Coaches talk about that. That's kind of one of those sayings, and I don't know if I was in that situation, I probably wouldn't have done it the first time. But after 3 overtimes, you have to go for 2 anyway. A lot of people always say when you're on the road, go for 2. When you're at home, go for 1. But I think he felt like at the time, their team had, hung in there, and they got to that point. Let's take our chances right now on a 2-point conversion, see if they could win it. And, it was a great job by our defense of coming off the edge and making the stop.
All right, well, we have a lot to show you tonight. Later, we're going to talk in studio with Pitt State senior wide receiver Levi Copeland, who's off to a great start this season. But next, those first half highlights here on the Tim Beck Show. The third largest crowd in Carney Smith Stadium history showed up last night, 11,495 fans. You just can't take it for granted. A great atmosphere again last night at Pitt.
Absolutely, a great atmosphere. Campus there were a lot of people on campus all day long, and family day and senior appreciation recognition, and then, military appreciation day as well. Just a lot of things going on, and a great day for college football. So it was a great atmosphere. We really appreciate everybody with Grill Nation, and we absolutely do not take it for granted.
Yeah, great weather too.
Yes,
it always helps too. Well, first half highlights from Carney Smith Stadium, and as Coach Beck mentioned, not only family day, but you also recognized your seniors. A little different than years past to do it this early in the season, but I thought it worked out just fine. Yeah,
it was one of those things. We decided to do it, and early in the year we get the great crowds and the great atmosphere, and we just thought it'd be a nice thing for our seniors to do it now. And there you see Cody Funk for Military Appreciation Day. Cody Funk leading us out with a United States flag, so that's American flag, pretty awesome.
And he held on to that flag the whole way.
Yeah,
through.
He did. He didn't want to let it go.
He didn't, but a very cool scene out there at Carney Smith Stadium. The Gorillas would win the toss, but you elected to defer, so Northwest gets the ball here, or Northeastern State gets the ball here to open the game, but a good start for your defense right away. They force a 3 and out.
Yeah, force a 3 and out, get good pressure there. You see Seaman Thomas making a play, true freshman playing for us and doing a nice job.
Your offense, though, also had a 3 and out to begin with, so Northeastern State gets the ball back, and they get a 33-yard run here by C.J. Shavers to set him up, and then they try a field goal, but Deron Washington, a big block.
Yeah, nice job by our guys getting pressure up inside. They created a gap there, and Deron is able to get through and get the block. But that one run there was their biggest run of the day, and for the most part, we did a good job of holding their run game down. So Pitt State will take over, and you go to work here a little bit. Kyle Swartz, his first catch of the season, the first down there for the Olathe North High School product. You get inside the 30 here, but Thomas, unfortunately, a turnover on this play. Yeah, just where, he decides to go inside that block instead of outside. Needed to be outside the block and kind of ends up running into somebody and tries to spin out of it and loses the ball in the process.
Your defense, though, was able to hold again, so your offense back on the field late first quarter, but the Riverhawks get some pressure on Thomas and they create a turnover.
They do. We don't get it protected right, and so he gets pressure in his face right now and just kind of makes a bad decision on getting rid of it too quick, and the guy steps right in front of it and gets the interception for a touchdown.
The end of the quarter, though, appears you guys catch a break here, but Levi Copeland, give him credit. He just kept going, and you get credited with a touchdown.
Yeah, he's just playing hard. There's no whistle blown, and Levi does the correct thing and just keep on going. You're not, sometimes in those instances you're not 100% sure if you're down or not, and that's a way to keep playing. 63-yard touchdown, so we're tied at 7 after one quarter. The Riverhawks, though, going to answer with a big play of their own here, a big passing play. Yeah, they do a nice job here. I mean, Matt McGee's in position. It's one of those, he just kind of made a little bit of bad judgment there. He ends up kind of stopping his feet, and he thought he was in position to go up and knock it down or pick it himself, and it ends up being thrown over the top of him a little bit, and they make the nice play.
But your offense starts to find some rhythm here. Thomas LePage to Slade Nordic for 21 yards. Then the quarterback draw. I thought Thomas really made some things happen with his legs.
Yeah, did a nice job here. Quarterback draw is a tough play to defend, and he does a nice job of selling it in the beginning.
That was a 3rd and 9 play, so that drive continues, and that leads to this. Dre Holman punching it in here from a couple of yards out. A bit of a delayed signal, but Dre does get in, so we're tied up at 14.
There were a lot of delayed signals yesterday, but nice job of Dre being aggressive and getting the end zone.
So we're tied at 14. The Putnam City North High School product scoring there. Then how about a Webb City product here on defense? Jose Spear, nice tackle here.
Yeah, nice job by Jose squeezing and getting it, slicing in there and making the tackle.
Riverhawks, though, would go on to score on that drive, an 87-yard drive, so they're up 21-14. But then this is a huge special teams play, courtesy of your punter, Carter Anchors.
Yeah, Carter has done a really nice job of punting the football, and the return guy makes a little mistake there and doesn't get it caught, but good job by our cover guys at getting it down inside the 1. 63-yard punt, and then on 3rd down, the true freshman again, Simu Thomas. What a play there. Yeah, Simu's he's an exciting player. He's really tough to block, and seeing him get in there and get the safety, what a great job by them. And defensive line, got after it at times.
And you had the ball. You had a chance to maybe add some points after that safety, but you couldn't punch it in. So we go to the half. Pitt State still down 21-16. And that freshman, Simu Thomas, you touched on it, a true freshman, and he's playing very, very well for you.
True freshman. He made an impact on this since the day he walked in. Just a very good football player. He understands leverage. He understands how to play hard as a true freshman, and he looks just like he did in high school. A lot of times high school kids come in and don't make the transition as easy, and it's really hard for a defensive lineman to play as a freshman. But he's physical and aggressive and understands the game, and I know our coaches really enjoy coaching him as well.
From Fort Osage High School here in Missouri. We'll have second half highlights and post-game reaction coming up here on the Tim Beck Show.
When the
And Levi Copeland had his 3rd straight 100-yard receiving game last night against Northeastern State. Well, second half highlights from Carney Smith Stadium. Pitt trailing 21-16 at the half. Gorillas would get the ball to open the second half. And again, your special teams really doing some positive things. Slade Nordic, a nice kickoff return to start it off.
Yeah, nice job. And we got a little crease there. Slade does a nice job of coming off this little tackle right there and then accelerating down the sideline and giving us really good field position for the 3rd quarter.
46 yards on that return. And then Thomas LePage, again, doing damage here on the ground for 26 yards.
Yeah, nice play here. Just a zone blocking play, and Thomas kind of finds his way and does a nice job getting us going.
Then how about the fade here to Levi Copeland? Great throw and catch in the corner of the end zone.
Was a very good throw and catch. This is exactly what we needed coming out of the locker room. Coach Rampy challenged our guys, and they come out with a great return and drive the ball right down the field and score. Great job by our guys.
11-yard touchdown pass. You go for 2 as well to go up 3, and Thomas able to get this in as well.
Yeah, this is a well-designed play, just a power read play, and good job of Thomas getting it in.
So Pitt State up 24-21. Great start to the third quarter. Your defense forced a punt, so you get the ball back. And Kai Kinchin really making a guy miss on this reception.
Yeah, good job on third down here of going and finding a way and make that guy miss a tackle and going and getting the first down.
That was a 3rd and 9 plays. You convert, and then Thomas really kind of taking what the defense gives him, I thought, and he converts another 3rd and 8 right here.
Yeah, good job of stepping up in the pocket. He did several times. He did this where he felt pressure, stepped up in the pocket, and then took off and scrambled for a first down.
Then the next play, he under some pressure here, but he finds Cole Slaughter, the Webb City product, for a big 28-yard gain.
Yeah, this looks like it was not designed, but it really was designed that way. But he gets flushed out of the pocket a little farther than we wanted him to go, but he still sticks with it and finds a way to get the ball to Cole.
Then on a 3rd and goal, Thomas LePage going to rush it in himself from 2 yards out. So Pitt State, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. The Gorillas now up 31-21. You're feeling good, but then Northeastern State on a 3rd and 12, they hit you with a big play.
Yeah, we let the receiver inside us right there, and he obviously you can see his speed, and he gets an inside release, and we can't let him get that easy inside release. He gets an inside release and makes a nice throw and catch by them.
There were some weird plays throughout the night, and here's one of them. They're trying to punt. The punter bobbles it, and then they somehow convert this pass.
Well, I'm mad at myself on this. We were going to call block at this time, and we didn't. If we had block on, we'd have had about 8 people standing back there. But yeah, this was a really odd play, and they had guys downfield, and it was just a really strange situation.
Yes, but give your defense credit. That's Bradley Payne, the sophomore from Cheney, Kansas, with the sack. So we go to the 4th quarter. You're still hanging on to that 3-point lead. Your offense needing a spark here. And Andre Taylor, a senior, a great catch here for a big first down.
Yeah, this is really good concentration by him because he's kind of behind the guy, and the guy kind of just misses it. Kind of a drill we always do with receivers called the blur drill, and he makes a nice catch.
But you get down inside the 10, but Chad Levin going to miss that short field goal, so no points on that drive. You're still only up by 3. Your defense, though, forced a 3 and out, so you get the ball again. And Keenan Shurik, the Carl Junction product, had 5 carries for 19 yards. Nice run there for Shurik. Then on a 4th and 1, you go for it here at the 39-yard line. I don't know if you got a great spot here, but you fall just a little bit short.
Yeah, you look at the top official, it looks like we've made it. It looks like he's coming in there, but those are situations where we've got to get it. We can second guess ourselves whether we should have went for it or not or all that, but in those situations we got to go get the first down there.
But then the true freshman, Seema Thomas, again, and a big sack here for the Fort Osage product.
Yeah, good job, good pressure by him, and we got other guys coming in there as well, and just exciting to see those guys get back to the quarterback.
But the Riverhawks would drive. They're inside the 20. This is a 3rd down play. Tyree Jefferson going to knock this pass away.
Yeah, good job of knocking it down, and good position by him and good play by him.
The senior from Philadelphia. So Riverhawks going to try a field goal to tie it up, and they knock it through here from 33 yards out. So we are tied at 31. There's about less than 40 seconds left. You had a little bit of time, but you weren't able to move the ball. So we go to overtime. Riverhawks won the toss. Pitt gets the ball first here in overtime. This is a 3rd and 8. Big play here to the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, nice catch by Lorenzo West. Nice throw and catch, and gives us a huge first down right there.
Then another 3rd and goal. And how about Thomas LePage to Levi Copeland for the touchdown?
Just Levi does a tremendous job running the slant, and a really nice throw by Thomas to give us the lead in overtime.
So Northeastern State would then get the ball. They need a touchdown here to at least force another overtime, and they get it inside the 10, and they rush it in here from 4 yards out. So they're down by 1. They can kick the extra point if they want to, but they go for 2 and the win. And your defense, really just a huge play. Deshaun Terry, I think, leads the way here on this defensive play.
Yeah, you can see when the ball snapped, it snapped a little high and to the left, and the quarterback has to reach for it a little bit, but it wouldn't really have mattered. I mean, we got guys coming off the edge, and we got guys getting there extremely fast, and it was about a several yard loss on that play, but there was a lot of excitement there, and it's good to see our guys get excited with each other.
Deshaun Terry, I think Ned Bingaman was also back there, and then the players just very relieved and happy to get that win, celebrating with the crowd. And as we go to the final score, Pitt State holds on to win in overtime in dramatic fashion, 37. The final, the Gorillas improving to 2-1 on the year. And looking at the stats from the ball game, Pitt 457 yards of offense, 171 yards rushing. You had 2 turnovers, but you're able to overcome those and still survive.
Yeah, usually if you're -2 in the turnover ratio, you usually don't win those games, and that's part of the reason why it was such a close game. But you know, we got to give Tahlequah a lot of credit. They played extremely hard, and it was nice to see our guys overcome some adversity.
After the game, Darian Taylor talking about that 2-point conversion play and the job the defense did.
I mean, we called a blitz. We saw them come back out. We were surprised they're going for 2, trying to end it. So, I mean, we called a blitz, and it was just a good call. We shut it down. So it was a blur. I mean, there were so many guys that got back there so fast. I kind of got in at the end, and I was just so hyped up.
As a football player, I haven't been in that situation very many times in my career, maybe twice, that being the second. So you're thinking, wow, here it is. The entire 60, 70 minutes comes down to this play. As a defensive lineman, it's time to put your nose in there and just do what you can.
This team, when the pressure's on, the team's on. I mean, we're going to battle back, and we're never out of any game. We're always going to stay in there, and we're going to give it our all. But when we have fun, this team can beat anybody.
So after they score that touchdown in overtime, there's not a lot of time before they go for 2. What message are you trying to relay to your team out there on defense?
There wasn't a lot of time to think about it. No. They're just, everybody thought, well, that's a big surprise that they're going to go for 2. You got to be ready for that. And so Coach Wiemers and his staff, they got to make a call real quick and brought pressure off the edge, and it worked out really good.
It did. All right, well, coming up, we'll look ahead to next week's road matchup at Lindenwood, and we'll talk in studio with Pitt State senior wide receiver Levi Copeland ahead here on the Tim Beck Show. MIAA scores from Saturday. Number 1 ranked Northwest Missouri State handled Nebraska Kearney 52-14 in Maryville. In St. Joe, 14th ranked Central Missouri improved to 3-0 with a 38-34 win over Missouri Western. Mule quarterback Garrett Fugate passed for a career high 408 yards in 2 touchdowns in that win. At Emporia State, the Hornets beat Missouri Southern 49-21. Emporia jumped out to a 28-0 lead in that one. Fort Hays State beat Central Oklahoma 34-20. This game had an hour-and-a-half rain delay. The Tigers are now 2-1. UCO drops to 0-3. And in Topeka, Washburn held off Lindenwood 34-29. The Lions threw a Hail Mary pass as time expired, but it was intercepted in the end zone. But Washburn improves to 2-1. Lindenwood, who's Pitt State's next opponent, is 1-2. And this week we are joined in studio by Pitt State senior wide receiver Levi Copeland. Copeland had 3 touchdown receptions in the win Saturday night over Northeastern State. All were huge plays, including that overtime touchdown. But Levi, just how big, though, was that win for this team to get that in overtime?
It showed a lot of resiliency by our guys. We wouldn't like to think that we'd have to go to overtime in any situation. The way that Coach Rampy's designed the offense, we should go out there, be able to execute, put the ball in the end zone every time, and like Coach Beck mentioned earlier, we got to give a lot of credit to Tahlequah. They came out and they played hard. They did a lot of great things on defense, and give credit to those guys. But we need to go ahead and clean up our mistakes and hopefully stay away from overtime games.
Yeah, no doubt. That was an exciting game, no question. But you had 3 touchdowns we mentioned. All of them were big. All 3 of them were big. But let's go to the overtime touchdown. If we can go to the video, Thomas LePage hitting you on 3rd down. Talk about this play and how it developed.
It was a crucial time. It was 3rd down, and we had been trying to run the ball in there. They were playing some good defense, so we were going to go ahead and take a shot, give a little run action, and throw it off the backside. And I knew the corner was playing a little bit soft. I'd been working against them most of the game. They had been rotating, but I felt pretty confident I could get inside of him, and Thomas just threw a perfect ball. It made it really easy.
And then this was your first touchdown of the day. Of course, some controversy here, but describe what happened here.
I played through the whistle. I didn't hear a whistle, and I just kept playing football.
That's smart. That's what a smart football player does. So good work there. Levi, you're a Mizzou transfer. You spent 3 years at Mizzou. Why did you come to Pitt State? What was it about Pitt State?
First and foremost, I knew Pitt State was a great school. They have a winning tradition. They're very serious about their football here. I knew that it would be a great opportunity to come and develop my skill set, as an individual football player. And secondly, I had some guys that I went to high school with that are part of the football team, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to get to play with some of those guys. I knew that I knew the character of the guys that had come here, and if they were able to enjoy Pitt State and develop and grow and mature, I knew it would be an awesome opportunity for me to do the same.
And what's your experience been like so far?
It's been phenomenal. I'm extremely grateful and blessed to have been able to come to Pitt State. Treated me great. I've had an incredible experience so far. Just looking forward to the rest of the season.
Your second year here, how much more comfortable do you feel?
I feel a lot more comfortable, actually. I've developed, like I said, I've wanted to develop and grow, and I think I've been able to do that. Learning the offense and learning, the structure of this team and this organization, it's really helped me feel more comfortable, and especially learning the offense. I think learning the playbook is a big part of that. Once you know what you're doing, you can go out there and play football and not have to think so much. Yeah.
Coach Beck, Levi, a terrific athlete. What's he brought to your offense and your special teams too?
Yeah, and that's the thing that sometimes goes unlooked at. But a great special teams player. We'd like to put him on every single special teams, but sooner or later they wear out a little bit. But Levi, we were talking a little bit earlier. He's had 5 different receiver coaches in 5 years, so he's had to work through some things here, and he's really worked hard to improve himself from a year ago, and he was a good player last year. He's working on becoming a great player, and that's the thing about him. He works extremely hard, and he understands that you got to go out and practice hard every day to get better, and he does that.
Levi, your quarterbacks, Thomas LePage and John Roderick, how much you enjoy playing with those guys?
There's never a dull moment, that's for sure. It's you got to be sharp at all times, because whether it's Thomas or John, you're going to get a great ball game out of either of those two guys. They're both incredible athletes, both smart, make big time plays in big time situations, and as I tell the receivers all the time, as long as we're sharp and we know what we're doing, it doesn't matter who's in the game. They're going to get the job done, and they're going to do a great job at it, and that's exactly the way we all feel about that. Good.
You mentioned your Oklahoma background. You attended Broken Arrow High School near Tulsa. A lot of Oklahoma kids on this Pitt State team. How much fun is that to have those guys around? And how good is the high school football in Oklahoma?
I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Oklahoma high school football. I think a lot of people they downplay it. It's serious out there. It's everybody wants to say they're really good at high school football, but Oklahoma is. I think it's a different kind of football. It's got 3 big powerhouses, Broken Arrow, Union, and Jinx, and it's always kind of up in the air who's going to be able to do what. But to answer your question, I think it's a great time to be able to play with some of those kids from Broken Arrow. I know what they're being taught, and I know the kind of character and the fundamentals that they're coming in with. So, Coach Beck wouldn't recruit great football players, but I'm a little biased to say that specifically Broken Arrow kids are the best. So.
What was the biggest crowd you played in high school?
Ooh, that's tough. Probably my state championship game. I think. We went to Boone Pickens Stadium in Oklahoma State, and I want to say it was in the neighborhood of 30,000 people. It was a big crowd, big stage, big crowd.
Absolutely. They take their football seriously in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Pitt State next week, or this coming week, will be at Lindenwood in their next game, 6 p.m. kickoff in St. Charles, Missouri. Lindenwood, a team, not much was expected out of them in terms of the preseason polls, but they beat Central Oklahoma. They played Washburn really tough. Coach Beck, what can we expect out of Lindenwood?
Well, it goes to show you the parity in our conference. A lot of people have a lot of good players, and we talk to our guys all the time about you got to prepare the same every week and make sure you're ready to go. But Lindenwood has shown that they can put up some numbers themselves. They've done a nice job. I know they've got a quarterback that's throwing it all over the place and doing a good job, and their inside linebacker on defense has broke the Division II all-time record for tackles. He's proven that he's a tremendous player. So we have a lot of work to do to get prepared for him on both sides of the ball.
Levi, you touched on it earlier that the team you're making mistakes, and there's still a lot to improve on. Mm-hmm. For you guys to reach your potential this year, what needs to happen?
I'd hate to say it, like it's a bad thing, but I don't think we focus as well as we need to. We come into practice on Tuesday, and I think guys are a little bit weary. Tuesday practices are typically a little bit, tougher just because, we're getting fresh. It's the beginning of the week. We're not pulling back so much, getting ready for the game, but it's a big developmental day for us, and I think we need to come into practice focused on Tuesday and Wednesday, especially to be focused in to buy in and really prepare ourselves for the game.
Okay. And Coach Beck, 30 seconds left. John Roderick, Thomas LePage, when do you think you make a decision as a quarterback?
Yeah, I'm not sure when we'll make a decision. I think we could have put John in the game if we needed to last weekend, but knew that it would be better for him if we waited and with this situation. But we'll just have to see how practice goes on Tuesday and Wednesday and try to make a decision from there.
All right. Well, guys, good luck. And St. Charles, we'll have coverage, of course, here on KSN for you from St. Charles, Missouri. And that'll wrap up the Tim Beck Show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.